All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming to our monthly sort of information Q&A for Matter memberships. Have a little bit of a smaller group. There may be some people trickling in here and there, but my name's Garrison Anderson. I work on the marketing team at Matter, putting together a lot of our events, promoting our accelerators and our different programs and services. With me from the Matter team, we have Mike McGarry, who leads our venture acceleration team and runs the services for startups and the various programs there. So I'll pass it over to Mike to talk a little bit about himself, and then we can probably have this be, since it's just a few people, a little bit more of an open discussion about Matter memberships. And Mike, I know we have slides. If you want to go over them, you can. Otherwise, we can just kind of have an open Q&A forum as well. So I'll pass it off to you, Mike.
Thank you, Garrison, and good morning, everybody. As Garrison mentioned, a little bit smaller group than we normally have, so absolutely can be more conversational and can address a lot of questions one-on-one, which may be more productive for each of you. That being said, we have a relatively short slide deck, gives a high-level overview of Matter as an organization, and then specifically the services we offer for our membership. So I'll go through that in a fairly efficient manner, but please, chime in at any point with questions. I think everyone's mics should be open. Yes, Garrison? Yeah. So just chime in and interrupt whenever needed. Our mission at Matter is simple: accelerate the pace of change of healthcare. I personally, as I think most of the people at the organization, absolutely love this mission statement. For those of you who have been in and around healthcare, either as an entrepreneur or even as a customer, perhaps, you know that things can be very complex, very cumbersome, and oftentimes take much longer than you feel they should. We believe that's true in the entrepreneurial journey, for health tech companies. And Matter, we really exist to help early stage companies navigate that journey, strengthen their business, build connections within the broader stakeholder community. That could be with other entrepreneurs, that could be with health systems, insurance companies, investors, et cetera. But everything we do is really about accelerating that journey and bringing solutions forward to market. Core belief is that collaboration between entrepreneurs and industry leaders is the fastest, most effective way to accelerate innovation, advance care, and improve lives. Collaboration is key. There's no one, no one gatekeeper, no one customer, no one person responsible for making a decision of should we adopt a new technology or not. And so collaboration across all stakeholders is really critical in accelerating solutions into the market. Our model is based on really three areas: startup incubation, I'll talk about that in a lot more detail today, as well as community nexus, we'll talk about that a little bit. And then corporate innovation is another vertical we have within the organization. We work with large partners. We seem to work with a lot of large pharma, health systems, foundations, et cetera, running accelerators on their behalf or helping them drive internal innovation. Most of that wouldn't be applicable to those on the call today, but just giving you awareness of all the services Matter offers. We are the largest community of healthcare innovators. A little sizzle slide here. Matter's been around for a little over 10 years. In that time, we've worked with over 1,000 startups from across the globe. We have relationships with over 140, 150 organizations. This is health systems, universities, insurance companies, et cetera. Startups that have worked with Matter collectively have raised over 5.3 billion in capital. And if you look at the right side, the pie charts there, not necessarily by design, but we have a pretty strong bias towards digital health. About 65% of our companies have a digital health solution, recognizing that's a fairly broad umbrella, right? A lot of topics fit under digital health. The remaining kind of scattered between life sciences and services. And our partner sector, we work with, as we said, a lot of health systems, a lot of life sciences companies, a lot of associations and foundations, et cetera. And then as scattering of payers and university partners as well. Well, Matter is a Chicago-based organization. For those of you that have stopped by, I think at least one or two of you might have been at the coffee and connections we had this morning. So I had a chance to look at our physical space in the Merchandise Mart. We are, by all definitions, a global organization. If you look at our 2024 footprint, 272 total member companies, representing 117 cities across 11 countries. About 20% of our member portfolio exists outside the US. A lot of those companies are fairly well established in their local market, and they're looking to understand how to break into the into the US health system. When we start talking now, we'll switch gears to our Select and Flex membership. I'll focus probably more heavily on the Select membership and how we directly support our entrepreneurs and businesses. We look at it in three different ways. One, helping build business capabilities. This is really, understanding how best to navigate the system, right? How to position your product in the market. What kind of data are you going to need to engage a health system customer? Those sorts of things. Some of that overlaps into fundraising. A lot of what your institutional investors, they're going to look for similar data, but they're also looking probably more so than your customers. Are you going to be a successful business? What kind of returns might you generate for their investment? And so we have a very, very robust fundraising program and help our member companies prepare for that capital raise. Oftentimes, a first institutional capital raise. And then learning from the best in healthcare, as we've talked about already, an extensive network of folks directly contributing to Matter and Matter companies, but then also an extensive network of individuals providing insights into industry. We work really, really hard to build a really dynamic and engaged community to support our members. The entrepreneur journey at Matter is pretty straightforward. We try and make it as easy as possible. By way of background, we're a nonprofit, membership-based model. Unlike some of the other accelerators or incubators you might be familiar with, some of the big names that come to mind are groups like Y Combinator. They will make investments in companies. We do not make direct investments in our member companies. We have an extensive network of investors that we collaborate with to invest in our companies, and we don't take equity in our companies. So a straight monthly membership model starts with a simple online application. If it looks like it's a good fit, we'll host a short interview, usually about 30 minutes, just to make sure there's a good fit. It's an opportunity for us to get to know the prospective member, as well as the member to get to know us. We want to make sure it's a good fit in both directions. Assuming everything looks good there, we have a quick onboarding session, a discovery session following that, which introduces you to the broader team, the Venture Acceleration team. We complete an entrepreneurial roadmap, gives us sort of an idea of where you are as a company, some of the challenges you're looking to address in the near term, in the next 3 to 6 months, where you see some of your greatest opportunities are, those sorts of things, so we can connect you with the right resources, both within Matter as well as our extended network. A couple of different ways we support our members through mentorship, advising, coaching. Our executives in residence, we've got about 28, what we call EIRs, or executive in residence. These are individuals that have extensive experience across all aspects of healthcare. And we pair an EIR with every one of our members. They become your longitudinal advisor or guide during your time with Matter. On average, our members meet with their EIR usually about once a month. And again, becomes oftentimes that first trusted advisor for you and your company, providing strategic guidance, maybe input on go-to-market. Oftentimes they'll make introductions from their own personal networks. And so we work really hard to make sure that the challenges you're trying to address, sometimes it's as early, what I call sort of our aspirational founders, still trying to sort through, hey, what kind of business should I build? How should I structure the business? We'll want to make sure that we connected them with an EIR that has a lot of experience in that earliest stage of a company. If the member company is a little bit further in their journey, have an established company, maybe a solid prototype, they're looking to get some pilot studies, we'll want to connect you with somebody that has maybe more domain expertise in health systems or health system deployment or insurance, whoever your customer might be. But that's really a one-on-one relationship and a longitudinal relationship. Next down, we have our expert clinic. We have just north of about 130 experts in the expert clinic. They have very domain specific knowledge, and these individuals are available to our members on more of an ad hoc basis, really to address specific questions or challenges. It might be a question around reimbursement. It might be a question around go-to-market strategy. It might be a question around FDA or regulatory strategy, those sorts of things. And our members are able to make, one-on-one meetings with the experts in the expert clinic as much or as little as needed. So sometimes we'll see our members engage with a specific expert, maybe have 2 or 3 meetings, get what they need from that expert, and then may not have a meeting with them ever again. Whereas your EIR, you'll meet with, over and over in the months ahead. And then support from the Matter team. Beyond myself, we've got 2 other individuals, 2 venture fellows that work to support you and help you on your journey and help navigate the resources and network of Matter on a day-to-day basis. Talked a little bit about fundraising support. It's everything from, what's the strategy? How do you get connected to the right investors? How do you get those initial meetings? To feedback on the materials you have. The pitch deck itself, while it's only, typically 11, 12, 13 slides and usually has very limited words on it, it's one of the most important documents that any early stage company can build. It tells your story in the most concise way possible. We go through a number of pitch practices. These are essentially dress rehearsals, working with our venture fellows, actually going through a pitch, and we try and be as hard on you as possible. We'd rather you field the tough questions with us so that when you get in front of the investor community, you've got, all your questions and answers dialed in. And through that process, we're providing feedback, every step on the journey there. Wealth of on-demand resources, digital curriculum, professional services directory, knowledge library. These are all available to you, and as the title implies, on demand. So a fairly extensive database. You can peruse that information. In the digital curriculum, there's videos, so as simple as how-to type stuff. Hey, what's a cap table? How do I build a financial forecast? That type of stuff. A lot of information curated in there to make it easy for you to get the knowledge you need. The professional services directory, this would be at an additional fee. It's not in the directory itself is included in membership. The actual fees associated with the professionals in there is negotiated, outside of Matter. But I think we've got about 80 either individuals or companies in the professional services directory. These are individuals or organizations that have been vetted by Matter. Most, I think, by definition, or being part of the service directory, they offer a discount to Matter members. But it could be things around graphic design, might be, one example. Accounting and financial planning. These are individuals that you can contract with. We try and make that process as easy as possible, and of course, offered at a cost savings through the discounts they offer our members. Dynamic community. I think I mentioned member exclusive opportunities. So we try and do at least a couple a month webinars where we're bringing the experts from around the industry into our community, not only to present on relevant and timely topics, but to provide as much engagement in a small setting. We typically see maybe 20 to 25 of our members participate in any of these events, which allows a really intimate setting to ask questions directly of these experts. Examples of types of events we've run with the American Medical Association. We ran a series of events on CPT coding, how to establish new codes for reimbursement. We recently ran one with an organization called Cheryl Morgan. They're a self-insured broker, so they work with a lot of large employers that are self-insured. They build those plans and build the support and the solutions that those plans need to best navigate or support their employees in achieving better health. We have a Slack channel, which connects all of our members in a very dynamic community there. And of course, your headquarters away from home. For those of you that are Chicago based, you have access to our physical space to use for co-working. We've got a number of beautiful conference rooms, classroom space, auditorium space. It's all available to our members on an as needed basis. membership tiers. Most of what I've talked about really falls under the select membership. We make it as cost effective and as simple as possible. As you said, simple application process, $400 a month. We take no equity, there's no additional fees, and it's month to month. So we have a lot of members that, will sign on. They'll be a member for, 4, 5, 6 months, get what they need out of Matter and move on. No penalties, no minimum commitment, etc. I think I talked about most of the services that come under Select, the EIR, expert clinic, team support, fundraising, Matter facility. Yes, covered all that. So in the interest of time, I'll just move on. The Flex membership, this is really geared towards individuals that are trying to understand, hey, I think I've got an idea. I think I've identified a real problem that needs to be solved in healthcare, but I'm not sure where to go next. I'm not sure, what type of company I should build. And this is a digital only on demand. It really takes advantage of all those resources, the on demand resource that I've already talked about. $30 a month, but again, no equity, no additional fees. It does get you connected into our community, and it's a fairly lightweight way to kind of get started, with Matter. But again, really geared towards what I call that aspirational founder. Haven't really started the company yet. Would love to get you some general knowledge and understanding of what it means to build a business in healthcare. So we do see, Flex members start there. Maybe they spend a couple of months, utilize some of those resources. And if they make the decision to move forward with their business, they'll step up to a Select membership and take advantage of those more one-on-one sort of hands-on support that we provide our Select members. And that is it. So I will pause with that, stop sharing, and open it up to conversation, questions, any clarifying points I can offer. Hey, Corey, good to see you.
Yeah, Mike, this has been helpful. Thanks very much. I work with Mitavi Health up here in West Michigan, and we're a startup. We're Series B, but I think a few of our team members might be interested in that $30 a month situation, and maybe our CEO might be interested in the other. So I'll forward it on.
Fantastic.
Do we
Any
just
questions or clarification? Yeah.
started, or is there like a how do we engage in the $30 a month membership?
Kirsten, you want to answer those questions around sort of the tactics of getting into the membership?
Yeah, of course. So drop in our chat just sort of our startups join page. So on that page, you'll see kind of what Mike talked through, breakout of Select membership and Flex membership. For the Flex membership, it is just basically a sign up process where you sign up and then you get onboarded to our community portal that has the repository of digital on-demand resources. And then for the Select membership, you'll find application if your founder wanted to apply to be a Matter member to fill that out. So that's kind of the starting intake point for both.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, hi, I was on mute. Great presentation. Thank you so much, Mike. I have two questions. One is, do the experts in residence expect to be, say it's really successful and you get funding and develop, do the experts in residence expect some equity out of the relationship normally?
Yeah, so great question. And to clarify, so there are a lot of accelerators, incubators out there. It's typical for them to, as an accelerator or incubator, make an investment in a portfolio or member company, and then expect equity in exchange for that. So we as Matter do not directly take equity in our member companies, but if we do facilitate an introduction or prepare you to meet with an investor, absolutely, that is a fairly standard process of essentially that's what they're investing in.
Absolutely. No, I get the investors, but the executives in residence, that was my particular
no. I'm sorry, I missed that. No, not at all. No.
Okay, great.
Yeah, not at all. There might be, there are some examples of EIRs that go on to be a formal advisor.
Mhm.
We actually, I mean, we do discourage within our EIRs, like if they're using Matter as a channel to get connected with startups to kind of build a business of their own, we strongly
Mhm.
discourage that. There have
Mhm.
been a number of occasions though where there's a really good fit between the EIR and the company, and they become a formal advisor to that company.
Right.
And in that capacity, that would be completely negotiated between the company and the EIR. And it's not uncommon in that setting. You know, equity is usually the currency you have as a startup to help
Yes.
get people to work for your company for quote free.
Mhm.
So, and we've helped negotiate some of those deals, but we keep that at sort of a hand's length. We don't get involved. That would be between the EIR and the member.
In that note, when is that part of the curriculum and advising as far as how to set up exchange for equity at beginning stages? Not the legalese of it, more of the how to build a sustainable pool that is that
We
will
do
not get
resources
used
around.
up very early in the process.
No, it's a great question. And yeah, you don't want to give away the house, give away the farm,
Right.
all, all in the first week. So we do have some resources around that. We have a few templates.
Mhm.
I personally have some experience when we talk about engaging with the Matter team. Those are the types of conversations we can help support for sure.
And lastly, do you have any favorite stories of success that have come out of the select membership?
I've only been with Matter for a little over like 8 or 9 months. So
Mhm.
Garrison, I might turn to you if you got a lot more history with the organization. But we definitely have a number of companies that have gone on to be very successful.
Yeah, one that comes to mind is Explorer Surgical, who the founder's really interesting. Her name's Jennifer Freed. She was a member that started with Matter, I think, when we first opened, if not when we first opened, in the first couple of years back in 2015 to 2018 era. And then she got acquired by Global Healthcare Exchange, so successful exit for her. I
Great.
believe in 2021, we have a piece on our website about the acquisition, just a short interview of her giving some answers to some questions about her journey. But the reason I bring that one up is it was kind of nice because she came back on when we did 51 Labs, which is an Accelerator Matters run in association with Women's Health, and she was one of the primary mentors for that program. So I just bring that one up because it's kind of a fun story of you see the start, the acquisition, then the comeback to lend experience. And she has also started a new company, Flow Medical. So she's in the serial entrepreneur category where she's
Oh,
continuing
look
on.
at that.
So yeah, exactly.
Wonderful.
But
That's
yeah,
great.
there's a lot of great stories out there for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Garrison, one, thanks for sharing that story and building on, I think, a really important point though, and central to what we really are proud of and strive to build every day is community, right? So very few folks come in, kind of use Matter and just disappear.
Mhm.
Once individuals become part of the Matter community, we see a number of serial entrepreneurs. They start their business. Unfortunately, sometimes those businesses don't move forward. That's a very common part of this journey of an entrepreneur, especially in healthcare. But we do have those wonderful success stories as well. And then we see members, maybe having a successful exit, even though they're now a fairly seasoned or experienced entrepreneur. They'll come back into the Matter community when they're starting their next business, just to connect with maybe it's a business in a different sector of healthcare. Uh,
Mhm.
but really do strive to build that community, not only between our members and industry, but also members and other entrepreneurs. So community is a big part of what we do.
Thank you. And I say it was going to be the last question, last one. I just came up with another one. But in your experience, do people on the select membership we had this conversation with Garrison in the morning. Um, are those usually people who have already gotten some seed funding and are able to pursue this full time, or do you have some newbies on select?
We have a little bit of both. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. We well, where I'm hesitating is depending on the type of business you're building. Some are very resource intensive, so you need a bit of capital just to keep the business going. 4, 5, 6 months down the road. So we do encourage folks to make sure they have sufficient, what we call runway, so they can operate the business without concern of raising capital for at least 6 to 9 months. And the reason we say that is it takes, in a very, very optimistic setting, you can raise capital in that 6 to 9 month time frame. More often than not, we really want to encourage members. You need about 9 to 12 months of runway, and whether that's because you have already raised capital or because the costs to operate your business are very low. So you can either really maintain and control costs, or maybe it's a founder who's bootstrapping and is working full time to really get the most advantage out of the services we offer. Though we do, I would say that those that are most successful are dedicated to the business. It's not something that they're just, a couple hours on a weekend. It doesn't mean that they're doing full time, but they have a very, strong commitment to building a business in this market. It is not an easy thing. I will, again, I won't sugarcoat that for anyone. Those that are just kind of dabbling with it, Flex is probably the right membership just to kind of figure out, is this the right thing for me to do? But within the select membership, absolutely, we see those that get the most are those that are committed to it. For sure.
Is it a scenario in which the Flex membership is a great discernment process?
I'm not sure what you mean.
For example, like starting with Flex to discern the viability of.
That's what Flex was designed for sure.
Right.
To go through some of those resources. There's a number of different templates, kind of how-to type thing. And it's a great place to kind of get familiar with what it's going to take to build a business in healthcare, for sure.
Thank you.
Hannah, any questions? I saw you throw a little heart emoji up to one of the comments we made, but don't want to put you on the spot. Okay, if you don't, but just want to give you airtime.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm really just here trying to get some insights as to what Matter services provide. And no, I appreciate the discussion from everybody. I'm a nursing informaticist right now. I'm still working full time, but I do have, working in the hospital for 15 plus years, just trying to determine really where I can provide my nursing and informatics services too. So it's great to kind of see the differences in discussion as far as the Flex and the select membership. I might start with Flex as well at this time, since I'm still currently working full time at an organization right now, at a healthcare organization. So I really appreciate the time and one-on-one pretty much conversation today. So thank you.
Fantastic. And Hannah, just you represent, I think, a fairly large percent of the entrepreneurs that we see come through Matter are coming from the clinical space, from med staff, whether it's from nursing, physician. Well, one, thank you for everything you do. I think nursing is probably one of those careers that is filled with the most incredible human beings that don't get the thanks they deserve. So thank you. I serve on the board of a health system. I'm based in Northern California, although I've spent a lot of time in Chicago. So yeah, thank you for everything you do. It's the one thing they don't teach, whether it's through nursing programs or through the work you do with your health systems or med school, is just how to build a business. It's a completely different skill set, completely different arena. And so we work with a lot of clinicians in taking their ideas and helping them bring them forward into a real business.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's great to finally find an organization that helps that, as you've mentioned, and really focus on the technology side of things as well. Because even working at the hospital, right, we see a lot of these technologies coming in, and just try to see where I myself could be part of that difference or making that change. So thank you.
Yeah, and just an example, what I would consider another success story, even though it's on the smaller scale. We actually had another a nurse join our Coffee and Connections last month. He had identified a real opportunity, but had very little technical skills, and was really challenged with trying to figure out, how he might move his idea forward. Just so happened at that same event, we had an individual with really strong technical skills. He had been successful in launching and deploying a business in the financial sector, but didn't know anything about healthcare, and was really engaging with Matter to try and understand, hey, I'm really strong in technical, but trying to understand where there might be opportunity in healthcare. We put those two together, and there's an opportunity for them. They're kind of talking through what it might look like to co-create a business, bringing the clinical expertise and the technical expertise. So when we talk about community and building relationships, I thought that was a fantastic recent example. It's not just with big industry of like, hey, let's connect you with health systems or investors. We really strive to make those one-on-one connections as well.
That's a fantastic example. I still wonder, would there be an opportunity to connect with staff at Matter to help discern flex or select? I tend to
Yeah.
undersell myself, and I'm wondering like, oh, maybe I'm a little farther along than I think.
Let's
So-
set up some time one-on-one. I know you and I had
Okay,
some
right.
exchanges.
Yeah.
We're connected by email. Yeah, let's just set up some time for a quick chat. And I'd love
Thank
to
you so
understand
much, Mike.
a little bit more about what you're thinking as far as a business.
Good.
I love the business you do around doodling.
Yes.
I'd love to understand maybe how we can engage, in some of our Matter events. And
I would love to.
skills. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, let's just actually, well, I'll follow up with an email. Just I'll include in that a link, my meeting link. We can just set up a 15-30 minute call just to address some of those things one-on-one. Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.